You're not a regular mom. You're a cool
You're
mom.
honestly the coolest mom.
What the is going on? I like to party.
Jesus, honey, wax much?
This is Unwaxed
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
with Sophia and Sistine Stallone.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Unwaxed podcast with your favorite sisters. I know you love us. I know you want us. Here we are, baby. Sistine and Sophia Stallone. I'm sorry. I think I outshined you with this intro.
I don't really think so. I think it was a little fast. I think there wasn't a lot of variety. I think it was pretty monotone.
I feel like my voice fluctuated so much.
You know why it didn't fluctuate? Because you look like you're in Dexter's laboratory, Miss Scientist. This jacket is very...
Listen, our guest today...
Were you just in the labs, like, finding a new discovery on a disease? Or are you... Oh, you're here trying to figure out the cure to COVID.
You know what, Sophia? Don't hate me because you hate me. I thought our guest is quite important today, so I'm going to look a little bit sophisticated and actually look like a veterinarian. So I'm not sure.
And guess what? She said she doesn't like to date veterinarians, didn't
how
she?
times have changed.
Oh, wow. The tables have turned. How is everyone doing? How did you sleep last night?
Like a rock.
Yeah, you know what? Last couple days, I was sleeping horribly, but now I've been actually eating 3 of your melatonin gummies, and that's been knocking me out.
Dude, if you're going to steal them from my room, just take the jar at this point.
Do you not eat them?
You do.
Well, yeah.
You're like a little mouse in there.
I don't tell her. I sneak
I
into her room
know.
because I think
And you
she
don't
has
think
them.
I don't notice the jar going down every day?
Well, I don't know if you don't eat them or not, and so I just don't want to tell you that I eat them every night.
I don't know what's worse, stealing and lying about it or just
I'm
stealing
not
and being
lying
honest
about it. I just told you.
Well, my melatonin addiction, I was drinking it at 7:30 last night.
7:30. I actually asked her. I said, "Are you a sicko? Like, why are you going to bed?" Not sicko. That's a little aggressive.
Am I a sicko?
Sicko.
First I'm Dexter and now I'm a sicko.
A sick dentist. That's what
A
you
dentist?
Are. You look like a sick dentist. You guys better be watching this on YouTube.
I'm giving you a root canal after this.
Actually, you do look. This is a good role play.
Sophia, mothers watch this show.
Mothers take note.
Sophia!
Okay, I'm getting back
I'll
into
tell you, her head's a little kinky right now because we started watching the Magic
I
Mike.
was like, excuse me?
Listen, we were watching, there's a Magic Mike reality show
Yeah.
where they literally get random guys off the street and audition them to be the next Magic Mike.
It's so funny.
You guys, it is so insane. These guys doing body rolls and they have no dance experience. It's so hard to watch.
Well, it's polar opposite guys. They're all not the same at all. Like they're all like either skinny or bigger or shorter or taller, like everything in between. And it's just to point out that you don't need to be like the Magic Mike. You don't have to be Channing Tatum to be a Magic Mike. But honestly,
no.
gotta be honest, you kind of need to be Channing Tatum.
Yeah, the whole message behind it is
no.
like, you don't need to have all of these traits to find your magic. But I'm sorry, you ain't Mike.
Yeah, you ain't Mike.
Channing Tatum does it. No one does
you
it
got no
better.
magic and you ain't Mike.
Speaking of which, they're having another Magic Mike movie called The Final Dance. Gabby,
Last
I know you're
Dance.
excited.
The last dance tonight. I've had a lot of sleep, so I have a lot of energy right now. It's sponsored to you by melatonin gummies from Sistine's room. I don't know what to say.
Sophia, let's just talk about weddings.
Oh, yeah.
Going to the chapel and we're gonna... Why do you always try to harmonize? Just sing it with me. You always harmonize.
But do you remember Sistine and I used to
God.
play at night with Sistine and I, even if we're coming back from a bar or
No, we're drunk.
an event. Yeah, okay. That's what I said. After coming back from a bar or event, we've had a couple of glasses of champagne. By ourselves, we just look at each other, we start singing. But trying to harmonize. And I remember we tried over and over with this
What
one.
was the song?
Oh
Was
my
it an Ariana Grande song?
I think so. It was so. I think it was like, "I'll break up with your boyfriend because I'm bored."
You
All
got
right,
it.
now we're getting off topic, but yeah. So the reason why Sistine brought up wedding invites is because I just got one in the mail, and I knew about this wedding coming up, but now I just got to save the date, and I'm just looking at the card front and back. I know the girl, and the wedding is going to be beautiful. I'm really excited for her, but this is the second wedding I've been getting invited to. Also, I've heard that's not that much. I'm only 25.
No, but
I know
our cousin has one
that's
a
what I'm
week.
saying. I know
he's about 6 he has to turn down.
so many. And one, it's just kind of surreal to see someone that's your age getting married, like, you know, the whole thing. But
did you think that would be you?
No. No, not at
Sophia?
all. No. You know me.
Well, how do you feel that your ex is going to be at that wedding?
Sistina, this should not be included at
The doctor
all.
is
We're
in.
gonna Sistine. Okay, I'm not even gonna.
Well, you talked about your ex in your Snapchat. We can't talk about that you're going to see him at a wedding? What's the difference?
I can't talk about this.
Why?
Because it's wrong.
You've already talked about him.
Okay, Sistina, I'm going to this solo. So yeah, he might. Since I'm not dating anyone, I'm single. Yeah, he'll probably be there. But what do you think about being single at a wedding? Do you think that's better, or do you think it's better to bring a +1? Because I actually was thinking about that, and I don't have a +1, but so I got no choice.
Well, it depends on what you're going for. Because I feel like there's this whole preconceived notion of if you're going to a wedding single, you're going to hook up with, you know, best man or something.
Oh.
And if you're not looking to do that, then yeah, bring a +1.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not
see
going
it.
to the wedding to hook up. That's
Yeah,
not
but I
the
just see it in
end goal
all
here.
the movies, you know, Wedding Crashers. It's like,
So will I find love at the wedding?
you know, as your sister, I want to
No.
be honest with you, and I'm going to say
I'm
no.
just gonna answer no.
But you never know. Love could come a-knocking anytime.
Hello? Who's there?
I feel like a therapist right now in this code as
you
well.
do.
I am like
You
the
do.
guy from Split who has 39 different personalities.
Oh my, look like Dr. Doofenshmirtz. From Phineas and Ferb. That's what it was. Barry! This intro is so whack. Okay, wait, actually, then I have a question.
Do I look like Sandy from SpongeBob?
Sandy is, maybe more Dr. Doofenshmirtz, but
What is this thing? It's like, Doofenshmirtz Family Incorporated.
what would make the wedding cringy?
When I was in 8th grade, my dance teacher got married, and she made it circus theme. So she went to a zoo and got married. I didn't go, but this is what she told us.
A zoo?
Yeah, and then so on the table for snacks, she had a bowl of carrots and a bowl of ranch dipping sauce, and I was like, that's pretty. That's pretty not great.
The wedding.
Yeah.
Okay. The wedding was at a zoo.
What was the
With a
question?
bowl of carrots. What? I asked what would make a wedding cringy.
A bowl of ranch dipping sauce.
is-
What do you mean?
No, but I'm.
Do I look like a bowl of ranch
I was
dipping
hoping
sauce
to get
right
some
now?
more specific.
Okay, you answer it.
Okay. This is maybe not popular opinion, but I think the dances that the grooms or the bride does for, like, the groom or bride sits in the chair and they have like a whole dance routine.
I'll tell you what's cringy.
That makes it. I don't know. It's sweet, but like a
No.
little cringy for
when
me.
the
I hope she's not.
when the bridesmaids and the groomsmen do a little dance when they're walking down the aisle.
Well, you have to.
Stop!
Don't you have
No! Stop!
to?
Stop!
The doctor says stop.
Stop! I don't want to see leapfrog before I get married. Okay? I don't want to see the cha-cha slide before I say I do. Stop!
I don't need to see the hold down, throw down before I say I do. But I think that's not bad. You're supposed to do that, right?
It's so dorky. So
Oh, okay. Well,
what would you want you want us to put on, like YMCA, and we're coming down like, ooh. Like, so dumb.
What?
It's so dumb. No.
Oh God, is there something that you would for sure need to have at your wedding then?
For sure need to
Yeah,
have.
you're canceling the
All right,
dances,
if-
so no one can dance
For
at Sistine's
sure, for
wedding.
sure what I need to have at my wedding
No.
is a groom. For sure.
Of course.
Of course.
That's a good idea.
That's pretty important. And an ordained minister.
What?
I don't really want a big wedding. Everyone's like, you need a big wedding.
No one's telling you to get a big wedding.
You!
Sissy. I didn't say that at all. I think a big wedding is fine if you're younger. I mean, actually, I don't know. I don't think I have enough friends to invite like that many people.
That's
to
true,
be-
you don't. I'm just kidding. You
It's
have more
true,
than
you
me.
don't. No,
What if I got
you
my
don't like big weddings.
if you got my
though.
marriage if I got my marriage license, would you let
No.
me? No.
If you look like this, no. If this is the outfit you're gonna wear in this, why don't you wear the same exact suit to ordain?
I
the-
honestly thought I was going for Hailey Bieber vibes today. You're shaking your head no. I'm getting
No.
one yes and one no.
No, you really
All
don't.
right, you know what? This is for all the people listening. When people try to knock you down for your choices.
For your outfit choice, you know why she's triggered is because she usually is good at getting
me
herself ready,
finish
and
my
now she
point.
actually had a bad wardrobe day.
Let me tell you my point. When people try to knock you down for doing something that makes you feel good, put a middle finger in the air, baby. Do you? They're just jealous. Yeah, my mom got me this jacket, so suck on my toe.
I literally did not want to interrupt you because I wanted to see how far she would go with that. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And
I feel really
when
bad.
in doubt, shout.
I feel really bad for... We have a very, very cool guest coming on today.
And this is a very not cool intro. And she doesn't look cool at all either. So.
If you want to hear a great interview...
Am I carrying the team today?
I don't think you are at all,
I'm
actually.
carrying the team today.
I'm pretty sure I made everyone in the room laugh about 28 times.
I made people laugh today. Exactly.
They're laughing because it's false.
I even told her this in the car. She's so mean to me on the show. Do you guys agree with this? Every time she shits on me, and I tried to shit on her one time, she gets triggered. Look at her. Exactly. She gets triggered. I say one time that her outfit is shitty, and she makes fun of me for wearing a hoodie a lot.
First of all,
and look at her.
It's stowed, so it's not shitty.
Stowed?
Yeah. Second of all, we roast each other the same, sister.
Not really.
I'm just better at it. I am.
Yeah, because I'm a nicer human being.
Whatever you want to say, Chica.
I'm a nicer human being.
Who insulted me in the car today? You.
I didn't insult you. You apologized to me yesterday for yelling at me.
Who was nice today?
Me.
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 Let's introduce our guest.
This is the worst intro.
And if you actually want to just get to the good part of the interview, just fast forward the first 15 minutes. And
this was just more a dialogue between Sistine and I going through whatever.
It's true. Computer screen, black. All right.
We have no idea.
Today is a guest that I am so excited about because I don't think we've had a guest even remotely similar to her at all.
No.
Career-wise,
completely different.
Profession-wise. I mean, it's really cool.
Well, you know what it's cool is that, so just so we can tell everyone who it is, it's Heidi D'Amelio. And I think why we're really excited about this is there's so many questions we have that we haven't been able to ask anybody else about fame and social media, the quick rise to it, like
I'm
all of that.
just so excited to finally talk to someone that is living this insane Instagram,
really.
TikTok, wild life. And to get an honest answer, she's a mom. She's raising 2 daughters that have blown up massively on TikTok. Some of the biggest creators on the platform. And her life is completely done at 360. So I really cannot wait to get into her brain.
So stay tuned for Heidi D'Amelio. Doing this podcast every single week with my sister is always fun. We love to discuss whether it's dating, health, wellness, mental health, our breakdowns, everything in between. So we are excited to bring something new to the show that will hopefully teach you guys something about saving. We are calling this new segment Unfiltered Finance, brought to you by Moneyline.
Moneyline is a financial app of innovative products that are designed to help you own your money life. Download it today in the App Store. It combines motivation, knowledge, products, and offers into a personalized app experience that helps you own your money life every single day.
All right, I'm just going to say it. WTF is inflation. So let's just talk about it. The basic definition of inflation is the increase of prices of goods and services over time.
So, Sophia, how does that affect us?
How?
Because of inflation, the value of a dollar lowers each year. For example, $100 5 years from now cannot buy the same amount of stuff it can buy today.
Right. So it means that the return you get from any investment is at least more than the inflation rate. Otherwise, your money would actually lose its value over time.
Interesting. Okay, so knowing that, what is going on today?
Well, okay, so the most recent CPI report shows that prices rose over time across the board in December. Overall, prices climbed 7% year over year, the largest increase since June of 1982. Have you noticed this times you've been to the grocery store or when you started your holiday shopping or whatever it is, that you may have noticed that the consumer prices have spiked?
Yes, it's wild. My nails cost $15 more now than they did a year ago. I mean, it really does add up. It feels like it's worse now than ever before.
And that's just in LA. So it's probably even worse in New York where everything is so much more expensive.
Let's play a little game.
Okay.
How much do you think rent has increased in New York over the last year?
Probably, I mean, not that I look at a lot of apartments, but I would say like 10%.
10%? Okay. How about that's not even a close guess,
Really?
Sophia. No, it's 22.8%, meaning if someone was paying $1,500 for a studio last year, that same apartment would cost around $1,842 today.
It is, and most employees are still only getting 3% adjustment to their salary each year, if that. But inflation is moving much quicker, and it feels like we actually can't keep up anymore.
So you're probably asking, what do we do? Because small businesses have to increase their prices due to the supply and demand, and I still want to support the local coffee shops.
Okay, well, I think the only thing we really can do is take a hard look at what we're currently spending the money on and see where we can cut back so that we can still support those local businesses that we love.
My shopping addiction is going to take a hit.
You know what? I think for everybody in this room will agree it's probably for the best.
Boo!
You might know her as the mother of two of today's biggest internet celebrities, Dixie and Charlie, but this boss woman has her own incredible following with over 2.4 million Instagram followers where she shares her passion for health and wellness, home decor, and fashion and business, and we are just so excited to have on the beautiful Heidi D'Amelio.
Woo! Studio audience, round of applause. There you go.
We were just saying to her that we saw that when you were following us, and the fact that we got this whole thing to happen, we were freaking out. But when we saw that you followed us, we lost it. We're like, there's no way she like would know who we are.
Do you know who you are?
No, jeez, we don't think we're that cool. But do you know who you are?
I know.
But like, you guys have been in a famous family your entire lives. Like, this is very new. So to me, I'm looking at you guys like,
Oh my
"They
God,
want
but
me
I
on
feel
there?"
like
We're in the same position, honestly. We're like both slowly trying to get
But it's interesting because we're not on people's timelines and news feeds 24/7, and I feel like I've seen you so much and your family on the internet that I almost know you guys personally at this point. So that's where it's different. So like Sophia said, we were just so excited to have you on and just understand you know, your journey before internet fame and now. And I mean, I have so many questions to unpack.
Like we were saying in the intro, we're like, you are probably our most unique guest because there's so many things that we have questions about that we have no idea that you would only be able to say and like get to experience because it's so different than anything. I mean, like you guys were, I don't know, how was the start of it? Like where were you living before and how was it life before this entire thing changed?
So I'm from Louisiana, and when I was 25, I moved on my birthday to New York City.
Oh,
and then I met Mark like later that year, and then he was born in New York City and ended up growing up in Connecticut. So after we got married, rent was really high. It was like at the height of the market. So we're like, and I wanted to have kids. I'm like, I can't do it in New York City. Like I need a yard. And
did you guys want kids right away after you got married?
we were kind of just chilling. And then like my sisters had trouble getting pregnant. And so my sister called Mark and she was like, just so you know, the O'Brien girls, you know, sometimes take a long time to get pregnant. And so don't wait forever.
So get
and
on
blah, blah, blah.
it.
So we were like, oh my God. And I got pregnant right away. I was like, oh,
there we
okay.
go. How did you know that Mark was the one?
I knew instantly.
Really?
Yes. Okay, so how old was I? I was 25. And he and I had both just kind of recently gotten out of really long relationships that weren't bad. They were just
They fizzled out.
The time had come and it was, So it was, if they would have had like Hot Girl Summer, that would have been me. That wasn't a thing at the time. But I was like, you know what? Single me. I'm going to live in New York City and do my thing. And and we met and I was like, well, I'm done. He was
when you know.
Wait, this is a funny story. I don't know if this is out there, but he was had a lot of he was, I guess, playing the field or whatever. So after our first date, he put some packages together of things that some girls had left at his apartment.
Stop it.
And overnighted them and been like, it was nice to know you. Like, I've met someone, like, right after.
Really?
So he knew as well.
Yeah, and he called so he and his sister are super, super tight. And she was with her best friend, who's like family. And he called them and he was like, dude, met the girl I'm gonna marry, and they're like, get the fuck
Wait.
I
There's so
know.
much to unpack. Yeah, hold on. What was your first date? And you said you knew after the first date?
So I worked at a gym. I was a personal trainer.
Okay.
And the guy that ran my gym, when he and Mark were in college, they were roommates. So Mark moves into New York. I moved to New York City January. He moves in July. And he's like, oh, I'll give you a gym membership. Come.
Right.
And so he keeps trying to like get us to go out. He's like, Mark's like, I'm not going in the gym and asking her out.
Right.
Like, no.
Okay.
And then and then the same guy's telling me all these stories about Mark in college. I'm like, he sounds like a dog. Like,
you're like,
I don't know.
Him boxing up that stuff.
Like,
okay, Mark.
How is he post college? Like, that's what I know.
yeah.
But he was like trying to sell him to me and me to him. And he had like, I was modeling at the time, so he had my comp card, and they would go out to dinner, and he'd bring my comp card.
That's so cute.
Stop. Are you saying
Yeah, the guy
cute.
that ran my gym. So Mark's like,
so
dude, chill. It was a world gym, and they had one party a year. It was Bash, Christmas party.
Like insane.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're having a party. I'm like, oh, wait, I thought we only had Christmas parties. They're like, oh yeah, we're switching it up this year. I'm not questioning.
Okay.
I'm like,
why not?
and broke in New York City, like free food, free drinks.
Let's do it.
So I go, there's Mark, and we hit it off. But I had a plan with my two roommates. She worked at this bar, at this club, and then my other roommate was going on a date, so we were all gonna like
Meet up.
go and let's all go to her place, her bar, because she was dating the
That's a good
manager, and
move.
we could get free drinks.
Oh, that's a good. I love this.
Honestly, I so respect the hustle.
I mean, you gotta go where the drinks
Why
are.
not?
I had no money.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
So, although I was modeling, I wasn't making a lot of money. But anyway, so I show up, and the line is at the door. There's a lot of like bachelorette parties there at this particular place.
Right.
So the line's out the door, but my roommate's seeing the manager, so he's like, "Come in."
There we
No
go.
line for me.
Gotta get the
So
in.
cool.
I walk in, I go to the back to meet her. I turn around, Mark's there. I was
Stop
like,
it.
how did you get in here?
Stop.
How did you do that? There's a line out the door.
Uh-oh.
And he was like, I just want to see you. I was like,
That's so cute. Wait, I love that.
It was, I was like blown away. Like, first of all, to make the effort, and like, it was just so sweet.
Well, if he wanted to, he would.
Exactly.
That's the quote,
And
honestly.
he did, apparently. So we danced all night. And
It's like a movie.
that was on, I think that was on a Saturday night. And he was like, let me take you out on a date on Thursday night. And I said, I have a client, like a standing client, 5:30 a.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to make it on a Friday morning.
Right, yeah.
I can't, but another night, like I would love to. And he was like, all right, that's cool. And I had, so after, like, he dropped me off at my apartment, and that was it. And I had instant regret. And I'm like,
What?
Okay, so we have no cell phone, and I don't know, I don't even know how to spell his last name.
Like, how do I
find him.
contact him?
So I'm in the yellow pages, but I knew he had not the yellow pages, the white pages. I knew he had just moved to New York City, so he probably wasn't listed. So I'm like calling like the operator, like, I need a listing for Mark D'Amelio. His name is spelled with a C. I didn't know. I didn't know how to spell his last name. I finally got it, and I called, and he didn't answer. It was like a voicemail, and I called like 10 times.
Stop.
Hoping he would pick up like throughout the day.
And
I didn't know caller ID. I didn't know like that was a thing.
No.
And so he saw that
So you called 10 times?
I
He's
saw
like, is she
it.
in an emergency?
So he calls back. He was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, crazy enough, my client canceled Friday morning. Totally didn't. I canceled on him. And I was like, so Thursday night still is good.
Wait, so thank God you canceled.
Thank God.
Thank God.
And so we went out to this cool, like, loungy bar place, and I just never met anyone like him. First of all, he's to this day the funniest person I've ever met.
Humor is important. I honestly would always
He's
say that.
so
our
funny.
Parents say kept
and
them
he's
together.
quick wit. So I thought that was hilarious. And he was just like he was like, what are you gonna wear tonight? Like, What guy asked that?
But it's cool. It's like different.
What?
I like when guys change it up, and we always say this. It's like I think it's the comfortability.
Yeah.
It's like he immediately felt comfortable enough to be like, "What are you wearing tonight?"
And very like
And confident
in himself.
Yeah.
And he also talking about, you know, earlier we were talking about sisters, and like he has a sister who's like his best friend.
That's the key.
So
That's
that is
huge.
the key,
Big.
honestly.
And he and his mom and his sister are super tight. So the relationship
Good
he has
relationship
with his
with the
mom,
mom.
That
lots
is
of green
Green
flags.
flag.
Such a green flag.
Green flag.
I'm like, ready, set, go flag. That is so good.
Yes.
You know what? That is like why don't guys court women like that today?
I know.
They don't
The
do
way
that
that it was really funny, as you're saying, you flip through the white pages. It's like Sophia and I's version of going on their LinkedIn profile today, or trying to find
Sophia's
them.
version.
Or just Sophia's. That's
Yeah,
so
I
sweet.
tried.
So you guys knew
So
you
we
were
went
in
on
love.
to this thing, and then I'm like, oh my God, this is
This is it.
This is it. Like, I didn't think about anything else, but like this.
Did you feel
This is gonna
crazy
be the
though?
rest of
Because
my life.
I feel like sometimes
It
like
was so exciting.
it's exciting. Were you nervous? Was it like exciting
No,
but
I
nervous? You
wasn't
just
nervous.
like I knew this was it.
Yeah.
And how did you know he
Like
felt the same way
butterflies,
though?
but not nervous. I never thought that he didn't.
Oh,
That's a good point. I don't know.
I like that mentality.
He gave me nothing that made me think anything different than
Oh,
he was all
Sophia,
in.
you should listen to that advice. When they give you nothing
I did
to
go on a
worry
date with a guy on a
about.
Tuesday, and then we ended up going on a date on Thursday. So when you
And
said
this
that, I was
guy
like,
gives
wait,
her
whoa.
nothing to worry about, and yet
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah,
think
he's
about
not
that.
Jump the gun here.
He's never given
I hope
me
he's not listening
any
to this.
doubt, any reason to doubt
I love
him.
that.
And then,
nice.
but he said this was almost a deal breaker in this date.
Ooh.
In this first date, we're vibing, we're having a good
Yeah.
time, we're having cocktails, and he says he was allergic to dogs, and I'm like,
That actually is a deal breaker.
Allergic to
this
dogs?
is it.
We're a big dog
can't do
family
this.
too.
Like, I can't do this.
Yeah, how do you not have a dog?
As much as like I think
I love you, but I need a
So
golden
you know what he
retriever.
says? He was like, I'll get allergy shots. I was like,
That's love.
Which he
Like,
did.
Put a ring on it. And he does. So do you have
did.
dogs now?
we have a lot of dogs.
Oh,
yeah.
We're a big dog family. My mom
That-
has 4 dogs.
If that
Three
doesn't
dogs. I don't
scream
know.
commitment, I don't know what does.
So you're in New York with Mark, and then you guys end up getting married and moving
Yes.
where?
So we moved to Connecticut.
Okay.
And so kind of starting your life over. His mom and sister were there, which was
Yeah.
amazing. His sister's my best friend.
Oh,
so
that's
that was
oh my God,
awesome.
that's so good.
And then I got pregnant with Dixie right away, and it was crazy. He had just started his business, so it was just like a very intense time with like a newborn, and my family was all in Louisiana.
Right.
But like my mom and dad came up when I had her, and they stayed a couple weeks.
Right.
And that whole thing. So I don't know. I'm very much just like, okay, I have a newborn, and this is what I'm doing. You know,
Yeah.
we
Right.
had made the decision together that I wanted to be home. So, and he was running his business. So I just did that. I was very like tunnel vision, like, okay, just gotta
No, it's good.
keep her alive.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
her happy.
Yes.
Check
in
but
on
at
her.
the same time, like Mark and I kind of had this thing where we were like, this is our world that she's
Yeah.
gonna come into. We're not gonna change who we are
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
now this newborn who's kind of like a potted plant, like
Right, right.
you know. So we still like dated, like we would, but our kids always came with us. We would bring them
trips
to
and things like
dinners,
that.
and yeah,
That's so
I didn't
sweet.
really know anybody there, so I
Right.
didn't have a babysitter,
Yeah.
and she was so little, so we would take them all over the
That's
place.
so cute. My
So-
mom took us out everywhere too with like dad and
No,
date nights.
but that's like the best way to raise your kids.
Yeah,
because they
I agree
need
with
that
that.
constant attention
Yeah.
and love, and then seeing you and your husband be so loving with each other is
Yeah.
so important for a child.
I'd like to think they have a good example, you know.
Oh,
around
definitely.
them. And then fast forward, like life happens, and next thing they're teenagers, and you're like,
Oh my yeah.
Oh
Wait,
my
when did Charlie come into play? Because like first you had Dixie. Did you know you wanted a second child?
So when I had Dixie, I knew I wanted
Another
like,
girl.
and
You need a
still in the
second.
hospital. I'm
And you
like,
were
I
saying-
definitely want another.
and you were
one.
like, I want girls.
Oh yeah, no, just sign me up
Yep.
for girls
Mhm.
for sure. I ended up having 2 miscarriages, and then I said, you know what? I had felt like I had been pregnant for so long, and
Right.
because I had one, and then another one, and then
Right.
I was like, let's just like enjoy ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not gonna worry about it. And then I got pregnant. I was like, oh.
Do you think
The
that was the
se-
key?
I
That
know,
you were
I
just
hear
like
that
get it
all
out
the
of your head.
time.
Honestly,
I hear
maybe
that
it was
all
the
the time.
stress. Maybe it was
The
just like
stress,
the
yeah.
mentality of it, and you were just putting so much pressure on yourself to get pregnant,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it in someone else's hand. Like
Everything
Because
happens
think
for a
about
reason.
like anything you want and you're seriously focused on, if you're like committed to it and do the work, like it's probably gonna work out.
Yeah.
Not with that.
no.
You're like,
Right.
you know, I am doing this, I'm taking all the
Yeah.
vitamins and doing all the things. And I was like, so the second we were like, you know what, let's just live. And if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And well, it happened. So she thinks she was an accident. I'm like, trust me, we were trying really
No,
hard.
yeah, that's
no,
so
my gosh,
fun.
that's
So
Kids
You're
are
like,
so
you're
funny
not,
like
I
that.
swear.
Yeah.
No, they always have those assumptions, but you guys seem like a very, very close family. Has that always been the dynamic growing up? Like, were you that mom that was, because my mom, it was family dinners every night.
She was the
it
helicopter, and Sly was sort of the comedian of the
Yeah.
family.
That's
yes,
her dynamic.
I think Mark would probably. I don't know if he'd say helicopter, but he'd say you coddle them too much.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
my
mom
mom
coddles
coddles
us. She would still spoon feed us if she could.
Yeah, shit, honestly.
She really
But
would.
like it was weird. Because, I don't know. We had our things we were strict about,
Yeah.
but they were different things. Like
Right.
I was strict with like the schedule and going to bed and getting your homework done
Right.
by a certain time.
Yeah.
And Mark was like, "Hey, they'll sleep when they're tired. Like
That's
chill."
sad.
But the things he was strict on, I'm like, that's so dumb. Like that doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
honestly,
it's
that's
it's
exactly
a good
like our dad.
balance. But my mom says that she could never raise all of us the same because we were so different. So
Yeah.
how did you raise Dixie differently than you raised Charlie?
You know, I struggled with that because they are very different. Dixie was very like, you know, more. If she wanted to like create this whole big thing, I'm like, maybe we can just like get back to that tomorrow. And she's
Yeah.
like, all right. Charlie will tell you like, this is why we need to do this right now, and like a whole dissertation
on why we have
like
to.
she will go back and forth, and Dixie's not like that.
Right.
And so it was hard for me because I was more used to like, okay, well, this is what I told you to do, so just do it. And Dixie would do it, and Charlie was like,
No, I got it.
not really how we're gonna do it. But Mark is that way. Like he likes the going back and forth, and
so he's used to that.
she was like, they were together all the time.
Okay.
And then she went through a thing where she called me Heidi, and I was like,
Oh,
You're like, excuse me. I know when my mom doesn't answer us, we go, Jen, and she goes,
Oh, I call
Excuse me?
it's weird.
I call my
It
dad
is weird.
Sly, and he's always like,
Even today, people are still like, why do you call your dad Sly? We're like, I don't know. It's
Just
now
who
it's
he
just a
is.
habit.
So funny. Yeah,
It's so
so
bad.
that was kind of like, so they were like inseparable. And Dixie and I, we probably have more of a similar personality. So
right.
we're just more quiet and chill, and they were just doing a million things. But it's changed. Like as
Yeah,
they got
totally. I
older,
think-
like there's certain times where like Charlie and I are better together,
Always.
or like she comes to me for certain things
Yeah.
and to Mark, and then Dixie will go. Like it just
well,
depends
that's
on
the
what it
best
is.
part about having a big family, because if I'm pissed off at Sophia, I'll call my mom about it. But I know Sophia just called my mom about it, but she'll take both of our sides. It's like perfect. We all talk shit
But
behind
it's
each other's
interesting
backs.
also as we get older, our relationship with our moms are totally different. Now it's like more of a friendship. And so we'll go to our mom for things. Yeah, well, if it's dating or whatever it is. But I think almost our relationship, it's always been great, but it's for me, I like it better because
Yeah.
it's more like independence, but we still also have that like bond that we can always go to her
And
for
support,
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard this advice, and it was probably one of the best pieces of advice I've gotten as a mom of kids that are getting older, was especially for Dixie when she moved out, as the advice was, you have to look at it now as you're more like taking a consultant role. Like you're not going to go to her house and tell her, oh, you need to wash your dishes
Right.
and make your
Yeah.
bed. Like, no, she's paying all her own bills. Like I have
Right.
you know, she's doing her own thing. So you don't really have that. I can
No, I
tell
get that.
her, you know, you function better when your
But was that
your
hard?
apartment is clean. But
Yeah.
Was that hard for you to sort of, let
let go. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
zip it, because it was annoying to her. And when I kind of got that in check, I feel like our relationship changed. And she knows when I go over, I'm not going to do that. Now
Right.
now when I go over, she's like, do you want to play organizing for me? And I was like,
Oh my god! See, that is exactly like
now
us.
if
It's
I
like us.
did it like without her saying that, like then it
Totally.
would have been different.
That's
like,
something that
yeah.
we're dealing with currently now.
Currently,
It's
yeah.
my parents have a really hard time of letting go. And sometimes I have to remember that parents have feelings and emotions too. And I think sometimes kids just think that they're there to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But like they're also hurting. They're letting go of
it's
literally a piece of
hard.
them.
Yeah.
And so understanding how to compromise, I think
Yeah.
it's been like the best
And my mom's
thing.
now come to the conclusion. She's like, actually now, she goes, no. She says, I raised you from like babies to now. And this is the time you're more like the most fun to hang out with. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're
so
like,
let me be a part of it.
Bye. Peace out.
Like,
Oh,
thanks.
So
Exactly.
now that Dixie has moved out, does Charlie still live at home?
Yes.
Okay,
she
good.
So
does.
Yeah.
you're raising full-blown teenagers right now, not just average teenagers. You're raising internet phenom. If you don't know these girls, you're living under a rock. I mean, I couldn't even imagine the jump and like the culture shock you must have gone through.
Because like they joined the app originally when
and
you
you
guys
were still living in Connecticut?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you know that they were on the app originally?
Yeah, so we were pretty savvy, and we always kind of, well, for business, Mark was always on social media and that kind of thing, but we kind of there were parents that we knew that were, I don't want any part of that, and I'm thinking,
why? Yeah,
just to know, just to open the space to have a conversation.
Right.
What if it's something cool and fun they want to share with you, and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, shut down.
Yeah.
So we were kind of always apart. I mean, there were things that I was like, I don't like Kick.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh, Kick. Yeah.
I was like, I have not heard
that in so long.
That one I never like. It didn't make sense
pick
for
up
me,
anyways.
obviously. But like all these things, but we knew enough about it to at least give them guidance on like why this could really take a bad turn, like whatever. Right. So we knew of it, and Charlie would talk about TikTok, and I was like, okay, wait, what is it now?
Right.
It was very different, but I knew Vine, and I was like, well, I guess she was like, it's
harmless.
You're way more well versed in this than our parents are. Our parents, I don't even think they really know what TikTok is.
They don't even know how to tag people on Instagram. Yeah, and it's very confusing.
Yeah, she didn't have an account, but she was making videos with like her friends at school. Yeah, right. It was dance. She was a dancer, and they were like, learn this dance and then teach it to us, because it was just easier. It's hard when you're like learning it on the app. She was like, okay, so they would do that, and then like she ended up starting her own, like opening her own account. Yeah, and then she had one that went viral. It got like 10,000 views, and she was like, oh my god.
The first time you hit like a cool viral video, like, wait a minute, I didn't know that was gonna like work.
Yeah, like you never know.
You honestly never know.
And meanwhile, Dixie's cringing the whole time. Because at the time when TikTok first started, like nobody wanted to admit they were on it.
Yeah. That's true.
Everybody was on it.
I did the same thing. It was almost embarrassing to be on TikTok, but we all secretly had private accounts because I wanted to see what everyone was doing.
She was making a bunch of videos, and I thought it was so embarrassing. Like, why are you doing that? It's so weird. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, she gotta get on that.
She had this one that went viral, and then everyone after that
went viral. Like, how did you see the transition? Because I mean, sometimes still today we get shocked with like even our podcast, for example, it growing a bit more, and then we see people coming up to us and going like, "Oh, hey, like we know who you are." We're like, "I don't know why." You listen to the podcast. Did you guys have some sort of moment where when you were living in your hometown, all that stuff, that things were starting to change? Like this was becoming a lot more bigger than you thought it was ever going to be.
Dixie's like, "Yeah, if you ever hit 1 million, I'll get on the app." Like whatever.
Dixie. Oh, Dixie.
Meanwhile,
strap in.
Quick. She hit 1 million, and Dixie was like, "Oh, okay." She didn't even have an account, or like she had one, but it wasn't her name.
Yeah, that's what I did. For a while.
Charlie had planned this video, and they were wearing the same thing. They looked exactly alike, and it was this one trend where like the one person standing there, and Charlie like. Dixie did this to Charlie, and she does this, and Dixie's there, but they looked exactly alike. And the internet went nuts. And so people were trying to find her, and she didn't have like a real profile. Yeah. And so she's like trying to like start
making out.
And then she ended up like blowing up like that. So it went really fast. And what the change was, it was a little... Like, it was at school. People were talking about it. And she was making videos at school. Charlie was. And I was like, I feel like you shouldn't be doing that.
Do that anymore.
And we would text her at school. Because she would make them, like, before school, her and her friends. Yeah. And they had their
uniform. Uniforms on. Yeah. So I want to, like, people
and I'm
see.
like, take it down.
Right.
No, we're not doing that. And then the school called, and they were like, she probably shouldn't be making those videos.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
God. I told her.
But I'm happy, like, it's good that you were, like, aware of that and monitoring it, because a lot of people don't realize, like, this, I mean, just the safety alone, even being, like, somewhat famous on, like, online, there's so many people that can stalk and harass and all that stuff, and, like, they would definitely do that.
They would do it, like, in the bathroom, but, like, everybody was doing it. Right. But then we went to eat at this pizza place that we love in New Haven, and... we were sitting there, and Charlie was on this side of me, but we were by the window, and this family walks by, and this little girl's like, I was like,
Oh my God.
What are they
what's she looking at?
She's like, the
And-
pizza.
And then I was like, we were all kind of like, no way. Like, we're 45 minutes from our house. There's
Yeah.
no way
Oh,
this kid
okay.
knows who she is.
Right.
And then when we went outside, she was like, hi, I love your TikToks.
No
And we were
way.
like, what the heck? So that was pretty crazy.
That's a
but
cool moment, though.
It is a cool moment.
It went viral, like, on the college scene for
Mhm.
some reason. And I feel like that one was
The
a
one
big
that-
one that, like, when they would go places, people would. Because we were
Right.
coming to LA a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
And it was, like, in the airport. And it started out with, like, little
Yeah.
kids. And then as time went on, they're like, there are college kids
Right,
that are
yeah.
coming up to us. So it aged really
Right.
fast. Like,
No, I mean,
of who was on the app and
Totally.
watching. or
I
whatever.
feel like from a viewer's point of view, the growth of both of your daughter's platforms was so fast. And that's what's so weird about TikTok is you can grow so quickly, I think, more than any other platform.
Mhm.
At what point did you guys say we should just move to Los Angeles and take this on completely?
We were going back and forth so much,
Mhm.
and living out of a suitcase in a hotel was not
That's
ideal.
the
No.
that is
And it
the
was-
worst.
It
Yeah, it
was,
really is.
it
That
was
is the
like
worst.
we were going to a ton of meetings. Like, lots of people wanted to meet with them, and we just did everything as a family. And
I love that.
then what happened was we were here,
Mhm.
and then the pandemic, and they were talking about, like, shutting things down.
Everything down, yeah.
Like, I feel like we gotta get out of here.
Oh,
So
right,
we
yeah.
flew home, and then that was it. Everyone was in lockdown, and then they had already these signed contracts to do these 3 big campaigns
Okay.
Wow.
that were to be shot here.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, we're not traveling. Like, we're not going to do that
Right.
in a pandemic.
Right.
So, like, how are we going to do this?
How are you gonna do that?
And so the companies, like, put together, and they got us a private plane, and we moved. We
No
rented a house
way.
online that
No.
we hadn't seen, but it was furnished. So we each came with a suitcase and the dogs on a
How-
plane.
So you
Did
were
you guys-
able just to pack up everything and just trust it and go.
Well,
Yeah,
so
was that-
we pretty much literally just a suitcase for each of us, like whatever we could bring
Oh
on.
my god.
Backpack, suitcase,
Yeah.
and then we came here, and they did the campaigns. We shot it at our house.
yeah.
Oh my god.
One or 2 of them, and then
Yeah.
another one was in a studio, but there was, like, skeleton crew. There was hardly anybody there.
Right,
It was
yeah.
really strange.
When you guys,
but they
'cause
had deadlines, so
Yeah.
they had to
Right,
get
they
it
had to
done.
get it in.
Right.
our family is super impulsive, so whenever we think of an idea, we
Yeah.
move, no questions asked.
Right.
I would love to know the conversation that you had as a family, approaching it. Like, what was that like? Because was there any hesitation
yeah,
with
'cause your
either
life's
daughter
about to
or?
change.
Mark is in sales. He's in the clothing business,
Yeah.
and he's in sales, and he has a showroom in New York City, but because of the pandemic, he closed it down, and his lease was up. He was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to
Yeah.
sign my lease again. So he didn't have that. And he has a sales team, so that could work the East Coast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so, but he could do his job anywhere. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that big of a deal. But, of course it was like,
Yeah,
are
the
we
f-
sure?
yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you sure?
What
Are you
about like the
sure?
friendships and the family and all that stuff you've had growing
Yeah.
for a while at home, and now you're like up and going? Did you like see any loss of friendships from like leaving? Was there like a transition like that, or do you think it's been pretty?
Well, I think because of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
no one really saw anybody.
No, that's
each
true.
other.
That's true.
So it's not like we're here and her friends are all hanging out
That's
or their
true.
friends are
Oh,
hanging
that's
out.
actually yeah.
No one was
I didn't
doing
put that
anything.
together.
Probably for Charlie, the biggest thing was her dance studio.
Yeah,
leaving
right.
that and those friends. And then she has like a handful of friends from school.
Right.
So that was rough. But you know how it is, like with
Yeah.
FaceTime and everything.
You make
It's
it work.
easier, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially today, if you're gonna see anybody across the
Yeah.
country, yeah, you can do it
So,
2 seconds.
What I've learned that they didn't tell us at the time, they were, Mom, Dad, we're just like gonna really miss opportunities. I feel like we need to move there. This is
Yeah.
Charlie. And, so they're like scheming behind the scenes. Dixie's
Oh,
like,
stop! Is she
okay,
still
so
doing
I
it?
found these listings of homes. They're furnished.
Dixie found the
Yeah.
homes?
Good.
She was like, "What's the budget? I'll find us out."
Wow.
So she was
Finally,
like,
that's
I
actually
love
the way.
it.
Because I always say to with our mom, if we don't come in with a full
plan.
yeah, and
We
like
need
a schedule,
a
then we won't-
PowerPoint.
Yeah, it won't
Yeah.
happen.
"Oh, Mark is all over." He's like,
All right.
"Okay."
Stop.
He was worried that they would regret it, that they would
Oh,
miss
yeah.
school. I'm like, okay, we don't know what's happening with school. Everybody's online at this point. Charlie's online. Dixie's a senior. She was like already in college.
Yeah.
Like had gotten into college. So it was a little different for her. And like literally everyone is online.
Yeah.
And she had been wanting to do online school to pursue dance for a long time. And so it didn't seem so crazy.
Yeah. Right.
And her home studio was very supportive of her. She would train in New York City and there.
Oh, okay.
So she was very lucky. But so they're coming in and they're like serious. Like, you know, this is just like, we want to pursue this. This is an opportunity. Yeah. And now they're like, oh, we were behind the scenes. We're like, okay,
we wanted this forever.
You cry today, and I'll cry tomorrow. Like stuff like that.
God, sisters are so good.
We're little mischievous sisters are.
And so now we're like
tag teaming it. Like you got today. Go.
I got this.
So Dixie was going to go to University of Alabama. She was a senior.
Oh,
she was all set. So when Charlie was going to graduate, we wanted to live somewhere warmer. I was like, the winters.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
We've been saying this. I was born in Miami. My parents lived in Florida for a bunch, and then we moved to LA. Now they're back in Florida, and we're like, I don't know if we can do snow ever.
Yeah.
It's like,
I can't and I didn't grow up with snow. So I was like, I've paid
You lived in
my
New York,
dues.
though. How did you do that?
It was hard. I didn't know how to dress and layer. Mark would literally like, okay, we're going shopping. You need help.
Mark. I love Mark.
No, he would shop without me. I was like, do I have to go? He's like, all right, I'll bring you some stuff. Like he's so
oh my god,
good.
I need to
he
meet
loves
Mark.
Clothes.
He seems the best.
Oh, if my dad dressed my mom, it would be head to toe Ed Hardy. Skulls,
she would
chains.
No, she would look like a mobster's wife. From
it would be
a Tony Soprano.
Wait, you should have them do that.
Scarface.
Dress each other.
Oh, my
That
mom
would
would
be-
make him look perfect. My dad would make her look heinous.
Okay, you guys, our next sponsor of the show is Athletic Greens. It's a product that Sophia and I started using because we wanted to have more energy.
We wanted to go for something that wasn't too unhealthy tasting. It has more of a mild tropical taste and something that I actually look forward to now in the morning.
So you're probably asking, what the heck is this stuff? Well, with one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right.
This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging. It goes on and on.
What doesn't it do? Athletic Greens is a lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free.
If you care about me and you like to look at the ingredient list, just letting you know it only has 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial flavoring, while also tasting actually pretty good. It supports better sleep, which we all definitely need help with, and recovery, and also supports mental clarity and alertness.
Look, multivitamins are so important for anyone to take. Tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high-quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb, like Athletic Greens.
It's also such a great company because it's focused on sustainability. They are a climate neutral certified company. In 2020, they purchased carbon credits that support projects protecting old growth of rainforests.
Additionally, for every purchase, they donate to organizations helping to get nutritious food to kids in need, including No Kid Hungry here in the U.S. In 2020, Athletic Greens donated over 1.2 million meals to kids.
You guys, right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with the convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into times like flu season and cold season. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day, and that's it. There's no need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health.
To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/unwaxed.
Again, that is athleticgreens.com/unwaxed to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Yeah! You guys moved to LA, you commit.
Yes.
Did you have any idea the ride you were about to go on?
I mean, I don't think anybody could anticipate that.
Yeah.
But again, it was the pandemic. So although it was like, this is what made it weird. We could see the numbers on social media, on our phones, on the computer. We could see that, but we didn't feel it because no one was going anywhere.
That's true.
So there was.
That's so interesting. Actually, I think that's such a weird thing.
It's so weird.
I can't even explain that because you can't go to restaurants, so no one can go like, oh, hey, you guys, this is
Right.
the D'Amelio family. But then you're also seeing, like, the sponsors, the rising numbers, like the comments, the reviews.
And so to a lot of people, it didn't make sense. Like, why are these girls? So they're not seeing them, but anywhere, but like on social media.
Yeah,
like, what are they doing?
Like, where are they? Who are they?
But meanwhile, the companies that want to work with them are totally getting it.
Yeah.
It took a
they
while.
see it.
At first, like, nobody wanted to touch TikTok. They're like, because you couldn't
Yeah,
really
no, it's true,
monetize
it's true.
I
like,
agree.
at the beginning.
well, no one knew how to monetize it or, like, what, if it would even work.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you could see, like, even Vine, like, that goes off in, like, in a couple
like,
years.
how long is this going to be around? As fast as it was also slow, which I think was a little bit of a good thing because it gave them time to kind of process. Because prior to the pandemic, we were everywhere. We were at the Super Bowl and NBA All-Star Week and this and that. And Charlie and I went to the Prada show. Like, it was
crazy.
You couldn't even keep up with
how many things
the
were
pace.
going on.
It was just crazy. And so we all got to kind of like let it soak in this time. And which was kind of a nice transition when you think of teenagers moving to LA.
My mom
that's
loved
terrifying.
it. Yeah. She loved it. She was like, this is my time to trap you in a house.
Yeah, literally.
And we get
what it
to
was.
force stay together.
Yeah.
So with all this rising fame, that it's like obviously it's all online, but then we knew there was going to be an expiration date to this whole on lockdown thing. Was there something, because you guys, you're so grounded, and I'm assuming your daughters are definitely as well. They seem like it online, and your husband sounds amazing. So was there anything you guys did and said to each other while this is all happening to keep yourselves going, okay, we are not going to change the way we are, or like act up or be something we're not? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to stay true to ourselves. We're not going to think we're better than any, because I think sometimes when people rise to fame, they can kind of get lost in their head. Like, was there something you guys said to each other that said, okay, this is who we are? Like,
if it were just Dixie or just Charlie, I think it would have felt different. Like, it would have been harder to relate. Like, although it was obviously the girls, but we're kind of in it as well. So we really all understand. But at the same time, that's never been a conversation. But what has happened is, let's say we're doing whatever the thing is at the time for whatever company. And they'll come with a script. And I'm like, we would never say that. Like, it's just weird. And and maybe if it was just one, you might feel, I guess I could do that. But the four of us are like, you're not saying that. That's like so dumb.
Well, have you guys always been upspoken about how you want to present yourself? Because I know there's been many moments in the beginning with Sophia and I that people told us to say this or told us to wear that, and we didn't want to say no because we were just grateful for the opportunity. And we look back and say, that is so unauthentic to who we are. Have you guys always been people to say, this is not it, we're not going to do it? Or did it kind of take some practice?
There was definitely never a question when something wasn't a good fit. You know, or you know, the manager or the agent would come and like, oh, this, and you know, this is like great money and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, it's not us. I don't eat peanut butter. Like, I'm not doing that.
Like, but even that alone, like just saying that is like so important.
They've been good. And Charlie, for her being so young,
really,
she's grown a lot. But in the beginning, when it was something like that, like she couldn't even articulate why she didn't want to do it sometimes. But she was like, I can't. Like, I can't do that.
A feeling.
Like, okay, well,
she has good intuition then.
She really did. And her intuition was ahead of her being able to like explain why she didn't want to do it. Like, now she's much better and like has settled into like, she knows like
exactly the yes and no.
You know, and she also knows both of them. They really know their audience. So, you know, if somebody wants them to like do something, like our audience isn't going to buy that. They're going to be like, whatever.
Well, they started on TikTok being who they are, and that's why people followed them. Like, that's the reason why everyone fell in love with your daughters, was because even your whole family is because of who you are naturally. So it's like, it's easy to go, okay, this is not my brand. Like, I'm not gonna promote like a skull shirt when I'm like all about flowers. It's like, it doesn't make sense, and it wouldn't work for the audience.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would love to transition and talk about your TV show on Hulu.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
I watched it when it first came out, and I was really fascinated because people always have a perception of who you are, who your family is, but it really highlighted behind the scenes. And I didn't realize how much work goes into day-to-day scheduling, the stress, the tears, the anxiety, the hard times that come with being on TikTok, which you wouldn't assume. Like a general person wouldn't assume that. And I guess my first question would be, as a mom, going through this, raising 2 daughters that have maybe over 200 million combined followers, there were moments where, especially Dixie, was very vulnerable and she would cry and break down, and it broke my heart. But for you, it's like you want to be there and comfort her, but how do you know what the right advice to give your daughter is? Because it's not like there's a handbook for moms that have like wildly famous daughters and they know exactly how to talk to them in these times. So what do you say to them when they're, dealing with online hate and bullying and just feel like they can't control themselves or their emotions?
Mark and I realized that it didn't matter what the context was of why they were feeling whatever they were feeling, because if they were in high school, they would still have that. It would be maybe for a different reason. And they're still, it's that age and the way you process things and all of that. So there was never a moment where we're like, oh, we're going to parent differently. We're definitely more compassionate to when they're getting crushed online for something that
so
maybe they didn't deserve,
Right.
or something that they did or said that they didn't really think through,
Right.
and so they're getting backlash for it. Yeah, I agree. Like, you probably shouldn't have said that. You should have thought before you did that, or whatever. But they're getting it so badly that the last thing that they need is their mom and dad on top of it. Like, they don't like to disappoint, they don't like to upset anyone, Mark and I, or the public, or anybody. So I think just keeping, just kind of being more of an ear. They don't, and Dixie, now, as she's gotten older, she was like, I don't always want you to fix it. Like, I just want to
totally get that. Because I know I have anxiety, and sometimes I can't even imagine, like, I read every comment. Like, I always am so, if someone's like making something mean about it, like, it hurts me really, really bad. And sometimes all you just need is someone to be a sounding board. Like, I don't need someone to tell me how I'm feeling or how to feel better. It's just, let me just talk it out. And that will just make me feel better at the end of the day. Because, I mean, you can't control what people do online. And so the only thing you control is yourself. So if you need that outlet to just like lash out and like, I like, sometimes I'll just cry and then all of a sudden be like, okay,
I would
feel better. It felt better. Like, that was
I would be in my therapist's office every single day.
Well, this is what we're kind of seeing, and we had heard this, like, it takes 5 years for you to like not get so emotional over all the comments.
Oh, it does?
And that's what I've heard.
That's actually
so many years do I have left?
Well, it's very easy for us to look at a timeline because we know like when it started.
I like a timeline. I'm like, okay, in 5 years I'm chilling.
But they've definitely, like, now that it doesn't bother them as much. I think too, because we were in the pandemic and all of that, now they're going out, they're actually seeing people that do love them. And like, appreciate that they're putting themselves out there, and that, or they can relate to feeling those anxious feelings. And they're like, oh wait, those people are out there. Like, it feels like it's just hate when you're,
on your
not
phone.
meeting people.
And we always say this, we said the worst part about TikTok is that people are so creative on how to be so mean and witty on the app, and that gets the most likes, and it's at the top. You're like, okay, that's awesome. But wait, also to transition back to the Hulu reality show, was that something that you guys were offered, or was that something that you guys were like, actually, this is something we've always wanted to do, and the offer came and you're like, wait, this is perfect and this is great timing? Like, was that even a consideration before?
People were coming to us early on about a reality show, but we were not, like, first of all, we're like, I don't know who's gonna want to watch like
my
reality.
God. Me?
No, but I love that. That's the first thought that comes to me.
We didn't want it to be like traditional reality. We wanted it to be more of a documentary because like people think they know who we are just from what they see online. Like, let's tell the true story.
Right.
Like, this is what's happening in our life. And it was I mean, when we went back and watched it, it was tough. It was a hard time, but also like a lot of people were struggling after being in lockdown for so long and all of that. I think it was just a sign of the times. Like, now that things are opening up and they're traveling and meeting people, they're settling into, wait, this is my life. And there are people that do like what I'm doing, and it's like feels better now. And so they've come a long way. So
Well, it's probably also cool for you because now moms get to watch like the other side of it, like how you're able to manage. And I mean, like you're the mother of the household. You have the raised girls that are in this like incredibly complicated industry under a lot of pressure. Like, and I mean, has your life changed since then too, with like the way that moms are responding to you, or the way that you like the brands you want to work with, and all this stuff? How's your life changed since then?
Yeah, I love when moms like. I don't get a lot of people coming up to me, but when sometimes it'll be moms and they're like, "I loved your show," and and I think we've said in the show, just if they had 100 followers and they got some mean comments, like it feels the same.
Feels the same.
So I think every parent can relate to that, and with your kids on social media and that kind of thing. So kind of got some perspective, I think, from other moms watching it.
Yeah.
But that has been super awesome. And then I've had a lot of, I'm not going to get emotional, but a lot of girls that,
oh my God, you're going to make me cry. Stop.
that are like, I was at Dixie's concert, Jingle Ball, and I'm like, the girl in front of me, there was a bunch of like teenage girls, and she turned around and she was just crying, and she was like, "Can I hug you?" And I was like, "Of course." She was like, "I don't have a relationship with my mom, and I always look at you and how you are with your kids." I'm like,
oh my
stop.
God.
We are crying. I was like a mess.
I was
so
like,
when
wait,
you have stuff like that, I didn't realize that. I had a great family life, and the girls and I are close. So, but there are people out there that don't have that. I mean, I know there's like handful of girls that have reached out online.
Yeah. It's
one
that
thing
I'm
to
always
read
like,
it, supporting them or whatever. I don't know who they are.
So different to see it and hear it.
And she was like, "Can I hug you?" And she just hugged me so tight, and I was like,
"You're like, I could be your mom too." I mean, all your moms. No, but it's true, and it's so refreshing to see a family that's close, and
that's what I loved about the show, is because you guys were such a tight unit. And every decision went through everyone, and you guys all valued each other's opinions. And I really liked seeing Dixie and Charlie, their relationship, because, it could be, people could think, oh, they're just doing it for TikTok, but they're really like close girls. And I think that's awesome, because that's how I look at Sophia and my other sister.
And we're polar opposites too. Like we fight like cat and dogs. Like, I mean, this morning we did, but it's like,
do they help each other out as well through these times?
Yes.
When it gets really hard?
They're both really, really funny. So Charlie could be like devastated about like, oh my God, my face is broken out, whatever. And Charlie and Dixie will come in with some joke that's like, "Not the time, Dixie." And then Charlie's like, "Oh my God, you're so funny." Or the next time she'll be like, "Why are you so mean to me?" So I'm always like, never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no.
But when push comes to shove, they have each other's backs so hardcore. It's so great. But like they argue. I think they wait until they're in front of us to argue. We're like, "Really? Can you guys just get along?" And
so wait,
is it
because Sophia and I do this? Sometimes we'll bring it up in front of our parents so that whoever's parent agrees with which child
is the winner.
Is the winner.
And
do they do that to you?
Live
yes,
together.
they try to like, okay, tell us like which one makes the most sense in this. She thinks this, and I think, I'm like, I'm not doing this.
I know, our mom has been less in it now, and now it makes us even more mad, because then we just keep, until one of us
she doesn't answer our FaceTime, we're like, well, I guess we tied. Yeah.
That's how it is.
I don't know who to go to.
Disagree.
So is there anything on the show that, because you guys expose so much of your life. I mean, you really put it all out there, but is there something on the show that you guys are like, you know what? This is going to stay just with the family. We'd like to keep some part of us locked away just for us.
I mean, we were...
Or even just
like
on
some
the internet
stuff that
in
just
general.
wasn't interesting.
Yeah.
Like more of that.
Yeah.
Like
so it's pretty much like
stuff.
the way it is
like the emotions were that was what was the time.
Yeah.
I mean, also, like you film for all these months and they get this much footage. There was a lot of times in there we were having a good time too.
Yeah. You're like, there wasn't all really sad.
Do you think it was highlighted more sad times than good times?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I think the girls, we're all executive producers on it, and it was very important for the girls
That's really important.
to show that, the effects of they were kind of hoping people who write these awful things online
saw what was happening,
would see it. And I will tell you, there was definitely has been a shift.
Really?
Yeah. And there's been like tea pages that like change the way they do things.
Wow.
It was interesting.
Wow.
Even like
That's
paparazzi
good.
is different now. It's been very interesting. So they're like, people just need to see the reality of it and the effects of it.
Yeah,
That's
because
true,
I remember
'cause-
when that came out, that like certain segments of your show where it talked about like the really bad bullying and the effects on TikTok, people were like, "Oh my god, I had no idea! Like, look how like affected she is by this." And I think people really thought twice before.
You can be
commenting
so brave behind a computer
Yeah,
screen, but when you
for
see
sure.
the effects firsthand, I mean, that's hard to still say to someone's face.
So is there a season 2?
We're filming now.
Oh my god, are you really?
We are.
what
How
should
is
we
it?
expect from season 2?
Well, I think like everybody that is now getting to live their life a little bit more, like everything's a little bit lighter and a little more fun.
Yeah.
Like this season, no tears.
But I mean, I think you'll see, the things that the girls are working on, and Dixie with music, and Charlie not sure what she wants to do.
Yeah.
And, she's going to be 18 soon, and what
Oh
does
my
that
gosh,
mean? And
that's crazy.
she doesn't drive, but she wants to move out, and I don't know. So
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
Yeah.
So lots of growing pains.
Yeah.
It's almost like a normal teenage stuff, but just elevated.
And I feel like I don't know how it'll come across on the show, just in our life now, like to see the girls sort of like, okay, this is my life.
Yeah.
Right. I'm happy
They're
with
settling
it. Like,
in.
they're settling in. And
That's
that's
really
like,
good.
all I can
I
ever
know,
ask
it
for.
does-
It's not perfect.
No.
Right.
They have their moments.
But is
like
anyone's
anyone,
life
but
perfect?
no.
No.
absolutely.
I really commend you guys because every family goes through their stuff. Every daughter has their day. And to have a camera on you while it's happening with millions of people's opinions is not easy. And you guys handle it gracefully.
Yeah.
And I think that is really amazing. I'm excited to see season 2.
Yeah, we really
Um,
love season 1.
We've
So,
talked
Thank you.
sort of to wrap it up, we've talked a lot about how it's been really hard with the comments and things that you had to let go of and move on from. But what has been the best part about this whole new transition? Like, what has been the best thing that has happened from the start of her posting this first video and your life today?
I know this is going to sound cliche, but like as a mom, whether they were in school or like to see your kids happy, that's all we want. Like try to see them not letting the hate get to them as much, to see them doing things in spite of what the people might, you don't deserve to do that. Like, you know what? I don't care because this is what I want to do. And every single person on this planet has a right to go after like something that makes them happy or try to figure out what that is. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. Probably meeting J-Lo is
Let's go! I love
she is a boss. But,
oh my gosh. I
if
love
I
that
had
answer.
to be like that. But
Heidi, you're not a regular mom. You're a cool
You're
mom.
honestly the coolest mom. Look at her cool Prada shoes.
I
I was
mean-
looking at you for fit. I'm like, this.
You guys,
Thanks.
you are
No, you really.
awesome.
Oh my god.
And I was so excited to talk to you, and you completely blew our expectations out of the
Yeah,
water.
I mean, we already had high expectations because we know how nice you are on the show, and we're like, okay, you're so much cooler and nicer, and such an amazing mom, and you've done an incredible job, and I'm so
thank
excited
you
to watch
for-
your
I
YouTube
know.
channel. Also.
Thank you. Yes, I know. I'm so excited about my YouTube
So where can people find your YouTube channel, your
So,
socials, everything?
Heidi D'Amelio, pretty much on everything. But I've been consistently posting. I just started my YouTube channel, and I'm excited.
Yay.
And then Dixie was like, "Is it just going to be decor on your?" I was like,
I love. By the way,
I'm like stressing out.
by
Like,
the way,
I gotta
we're
switch it up.
furnishing our new apartment, so I will
So
be
I
all
will
over.
watch it,
I need
so I
this.
need it.
I need help.
Well, I'm going to no, but she does that, and I'm like,
Do I need to change
and
it?
then I'm like, you know what? She's right. Like, mix it up. So they do want to help me, and like I
Okay,
want
good.
that.
I love that.
So my YouTube channel, that's good. And then our podcast, Mark and I will be coming back.
Oh, good.
Soon.
Oh, I'm listening to that.
So that'll be fun.
Oh,
Well,
great.
thank you so much. You have
Thanks
such a
for
beautiful
having
heart.
me.
We love you so much.
And I love you guys and your
Oh,
family.
stop.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.